Every single meme on Instagram is just Squid Game. No, don't get me wrong. Squid Game was a great show. I watched every single episode of it, but it's one of those shows where it's so popular that you wish you were the only one who knows about it. Now, my only problem with Squid Game, right, is of course at the very end of the show, the guy dyes his hair red. And it's probably one of the most ridiculous things I've seen happen. Well, it's just disappointing and doesn't get you excited for the sequel. No, I know there's a reason behind it and all that crap. I didn't care. It was a great show. But people sitting on their phones, probably taking a dump. That's people generally on Instagram while they're sitting on the toilet. I mean, don't get me wrong, people. I'm not faulting people, nor will I admit that it probably is one of the times when I look at my phone the most, but I just get sick looking at my phone these days, the news and all these different pieces of mind-bending thought control that they get pushed in people's faces 24/7, 7 days a week. There's no real escape from it. So, all that being said, I've been watching Squid. I watched Squid Game. I'm done with it. I watched all 9 episodes all in a row. I mean, I gotta admit that it's better than 99% of the shows that you see broadcasted to the general public these days, and that's sad. No, nothing against Squid Game, but there really should have been like 6 or 7 shows at least that came out. I mean, all right, now I'm watching the Netflix program entitled You. Now, when you say that, you really gotta prefix it with something. You gotta say, "Oh, I'm watching the show You," because the whole point of the title of the show is that it says I'm watching You because the show is about a stalker. Now, I'll recommend watching this show, but I don't know how well it holds up this new season. It's kind of getting a little bit boring. But then again, there is that mind control element again. I mean, where Squid Game, we've got these people who are put up against each other to go try to earn money and compete against each other in life or death situations. Well, that's, I guess, the exploitation of the poor and working class, if you want to get preachy about it. And people, 99% of the people in the show are in debt. Now, don't get me wrong, this is why the show is really relatable. This is one of the key reasons that the show is so entertaining, because everybody can imagine being in a situation like that. Now, the show You, on the other example, on the other end of the aisle, we've got a guy who literally scrolls through Instagram, and the entire basically show is just him just being a total stalker. Now, the one thing that I don't get about You, this television show, is that the main character of the show, essentially gets with the girls that he's stalking. Now, this is the least realistic aspect of the show, that he somehow he's successful, when in reality, I highly doubt that many of these situations this guy would be appealing to any girl out there. But I mean, obviously, the show stars some handsome young fellow, and there's absolutely no way that he would be such a creep in real life if this normal looking dude was just going about his daily life. But they give him some bullshit backstory about how his parents neglected him or something like that, and try to turn him into a sympathetic character, which I was disappointed with ultimately. And yeah, so I suppose the way that any TV show ends, I'm not knocking the end of Squid Game here. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to give away, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it does blow your hair back. Some of the last minute revelations, I understand how certain audiences have maybe a little bit of a gripe with it. But all in all, it's a satisfying 9-hour show, and it doesn't have any of those faults in logic that you run into with a lot of programming that comes out nowadays, where just something completely unrealistic happens. Oh, we got Eddie M in the chat. Welcome, Eddie. We're talking about just different Netflix pieces of. I mean, 99% of the shows that are on. 99% of the shows that are on Netflix are absolute trash. I mean, that's just something that we gotta all really come to terms with. I mean, I say it ain't so. I mean, I miss the good old days when you'd go on Netflix and then you'd be able to actually find something worth watching. But I go on that show, I go on that app now on my TV, and I'm scrolling down, and I have such decision fatigue. It's the most reprehensible. It's almost more fun just looking through the titles that are available on that app as opposed to actually watching something. And if you don't believe me, if you have Netflix, go on down and, maybe if you haven't seen, there's a few hidden gems in there and stuff like that. But uh, all in all, total failure of a app. I mean, let's be honest, Netflix had its time, but that show got picked apart by the Disney Plus and all the different streaming services just being vultures and picking at the corpse of it. So all in all, I'm not going to knock it. Also, we've got people going to the movies again now, it seems. I mean, the popularity of that new Halloween movie. Who's the guy with the masks that always somehow just walks? He never runs. Michael Myers. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Michael Myers just walks after you and does abs. I mean, I understand what they're going for. It's one of those. Yeah, Michael Myers is just one of those characters that somehow the dude never puts in any effort. He just walks at you like, and I know what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for that sort of feel like you're in a dream, and then no matter how fast you try to run, the person who's chasing you it's almost like your feet are in quicksand, and the more you try to run, it just makes it more and more difficult to get away while the guy behind you is gaining on you. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's one of the all-time classics of the horror movie genre for its day and age. But let's be honest, a lot of these characters from that bygone era haven't necessarily aged. I mean, just movies in general from the 70s and stuff just don't age well. Who's that chick who Michael Myers is always after? Shit. What's her name? The one who they call like a scream queen, something like that's not coming to my head. Anyway, she finally, Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah, and then of course never actually shows her boobs in any of these movies up until she started to. But Jamie Lee Curtis, she's one of those actresses who's really maintained that look, that appeal to her. I'm definitely a big fan of just the old Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't really know what she's up to today, but it's definitely something. She's one of those national treasures of the horror movie genre. We won't get one of those. There'll never be another Jamie Lee Curtis. Rusty Cufford says that she had some hot boobs. I mean, you look up Jamie Lee Curtis in that one movie, speaks for itself. She's one of those. She never had to get fake ones either. Jamie Lee Curtis is. I've always had a crush on her. She was in that show, Phil of the Future. Yes, True Lies and Changing Places. Now, if you ever just want to have a nice popcorn night and just check out Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs, True Lies and Changing Places is a great place to start. But God damn, she was at the head of her time. She really did I mean, she must have made a ton of money. I'm gonna look up. I want to see Jamie Lee Curtis's. I want to see her net worth. How much do you think Jamie Lee Curtis is pulling in? Celebrity net worth. Oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis. It says that she's worth $100 million. Is that true? It says that she's worth $100 million. Jesus, she really went to the bank when it came to those Halloween movies. Oh God, I didn't expect it to be that much. That's how she's loaded for an actress. She probably had some good investments and stuff like that. 100 million. That's impressive. I got to admit. So that's the first podcast. No, I was a little bit choppy, but I'd like to thank everybody who came. Rusty Crawford, thanks for coming. We got Eddie M came today. So thanks to everybody who came to the podcast today. Gonna keep doing this. This was episode 1. I just had a few ideas about Squid Game, but I don't want to turn this into a big ramble because I want these videos to stay up on the channel. And essentially what happens when I make these live streams is I make them private afterwards because I don't want that to be my only content on there. But hey, thanks. Legendary reviews. Hey, thanks, Rusty Cuffordson. Thanks for coming. What's up, Leo FL? Re-uploaded. Thanks for coming to the podcast. I will be having guests on in the future too, so I'm going to try to make this at least a daily thing. So if you guys are interested in my podcast, I'm going to be using I'm going to be using this YouTube channel to basically kickstart the podcast. So this will be, it'll be interesting once I can get some guests on here and we can actually have like a back and forth, just so that I don't seem to start to feel like I'm rambling. Yeah, Leo FL, great to have you. I know he's one of the OGs. Yeah, we're gonna have Alex. We're gonna have Mr. Jones as a guest. We're all gonna tweet at him, and yeah, this is gonna be like what Joe Rogan always wanted to be. One of those podcasts that just never quits. We're gonna have guests on. So we're gonna have guests on that are gonna be interesting. Let's to say the least. Yeah, Olivia Curse, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. Shout out Olivia Curse. Yeah, he has the documents. Yeah, we're gonna get he has the documents. So that's all for now. We were able to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis, Squid Games, and that horrible ending where the dude had the red hair for no reason whatsoever. We were able to talk about future guests that we'll be able to have. We talked about the future of the podcast and the fact that I've decided to start making one. And so things are going to be good. Maybe tonight I'll even hop back on again if I could figure out another idea for something that I could fill up a couple minutes of talking about. But this is awesome. Yeah. So the beginning of the BusterFriendly Podcast, and I mean, we had a solid amount of viewers the entire time today. I'll sit here and I'll just chit chat with people, do a powwow with people who are in the comments and stuff like that as well. And of course, all of you, these videos are going to stay up on my channel. So if you have Sam Hyde, yeah, he's from my area. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Massachusetts. So I mean, if you guys know local Massachusetts podcasters, then that'll be a great way for me to get myself ingratiated with all that stuff. Yeah, those are my dogs. We'll be doing more live streams with the dogs and stuff too. If you guys want to see that kind of stuff, feel free to put that sort of stuff in the comments, maybe down below. I read my comments excessively just because I'm a glutton for punishment. I get some really crazy comments on this channel, if you could believe that. Maybe that'll be the subject of a podcast in the future. But like I was saying, if you guys want to be fans and then you like a segment or like a little blurb of what I say in the podcast, and I want to see I want to see people maybe take the clip, and then like if I said something interesting about Squid Game, then put like the actual clips in the video, but I don't know, that I like that when I see like other you ever watch I think it's called like Come Town, the the podcast I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, or even like what Sam Hyde does like with or Joe Rogan. I don't know, my other favorite podcasters are like Bill Burr. Some of the better comedians I think turn out to be really great. Olivia asks Squid Game. Yeah, it's a show on Netflix that everybody all of a sudden is the number one fan of. You could do podcasts with random people in Discord. Yeah, I mean, I want to do that, Leo FL. Like, I want to do random podcasts with random people. But one of the one of the things that I have a issue with when it comes to that is I want to be able to like vet people and like find people who I trust that I'm like able to have a conversation with without like having to worry about them just not being trustworthy with the podcast. You know what I mean? You don't want to have like people come on who are like random strangers from the internet and who just like I mean, there's some real crazies on the internet and stuff like that. So yeah, but Bill Burr, Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson will definitely be a guest on the podcast as well once we get our legs. But yeah, all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Stay tuned for more.